This for me is an obvious one in light of the ones that you've all taken. It's got to be the fucking GamerLegion rebuild, and the key word is rebuild. The reason why this Ash guy now has like insane credit in the scene and crazy goodwill is because remember, he had the team, right, that he'd had at he'd had that team at IM Rio, they got there, and then they did nothing. Then the same lineup, he then took to the final of Blast Paris, immediately lost Ima and Shuhei, who just went off to Mouse and fucking Navi, so he lost his two key pieces, and then he had to do a rebuild. He had Snacks, if you remember, he rebuilt that way. If people forget this detail, in early CS2, when FaZe used to make every final, this team beat them like 3 times or something during those tournaments. Like, they would never make like playoffs themselves, but they had no business being that good. It's even how I think Snacks got picked up in a G2. Then he did the other rebuild for the last major, where he had Flammers, and he had all these super young guys. Then he got Flammers taken from him. Like, fucking hell, this guy can't catch a break. But the difference is, every time they punish him like this, he just shows his fucking money. He must just be like the craziest eye in the game. Because he went out there, and the players he's picked up now, guys, they were all in the scene. They weren't hidden. No one else wanted them. No one was trying to get these guys. And he said, oh, put these guys together. And you go and look at Katowice now. Here's what they did in this tournament. So they beat Saw, who was half decent. They're not as good anymore. They lost to big players. They beat Pain Gaming, who I actually think's good. I even highlighted them on a past episode. Then in the main event, they just clapped that Mouse team. Yes, Mouse doesn't have an IGL. They still have fraggers, mate. They still have people who can shoot you in the head. Then you go, they lost to Mongols. Fair enough, Mongols on a heater. They just 2-0 Astralis. Now, I just want to point out for anyone who didn't see Astralis, this isn't like when a device was having a break. They're all in the fucking server. Cadian's there, Stone's there, Yabby's there. 2-0 them, straight out. And then against Spirit, bro, like, they won a fucking map against the world champions. The world champions. This roster has no bit. This should be an ESL Challenger roster. Or this should be like a playing roster that gets to the first round and goes, oh, cool. Oh, shit. Katowice and loses. Like, this is bonkers that you're that close to it. I mean, let's just put it this way. Basically, because Mongols did the business on you in the upper bracket, you had to beat the major finalists if you were going to make the arena. I don't expect you to make the arena. You've already punched way above your weight there. And then you go and look at the roster. Again, I'll just quickly read this out because I challenge anyone to say this was like a roster you all knew was sick. ZTR, you literally call 0T rounds because you all think he is shit because you still think it is 2021. Then you have Towson. You don't even know him. You couldn't even tell me what team he was on. He was on a Danish team. I'll give you that clue. Slend was already out there in the scene, but the problem is everyone thought he was an onliner. Rez, the joke was, it was like, is it time for Rez to retire? Why has he just been a nip for 1 million years? And then PR, I don't even know who he is. I mean, there's about 1 million Czech players. I don't even know who he is. I still don't know. I'm learning now. I'm learning with you guys. Where's the fucking HLTV top 20 players? There's none. There's not even one that's close. Like, this Ash guy must be fucking, he just has, in English we say you have the Midas touch. It all just turns to gold. Like, it's fucking crazy. And the reason why I'm especially highlighting him is everyone always goes, oh, why does he just go to a bigger org? Because here's the thing. I imagine if Vitality offered him the gig, he'd say yes. But he doesn't want to be an OG or Fnatic, you know. The problem with those orgs is he wouldn't be in a better position. And I've heard, because he's done the business in GamerLegion, they actually gave him every coach's dream. He picks the roster. He decides how it's all run. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not, you're not getting paid the greatest money in the world, but that's the dream. A lot of people have had to suffer through the roster they didn't want, or have, oh shit, now I can't even pick up the next one, or I don't get to say over how we do things. So this guy is cooking right now. He is fucking cooking, boys. Thoughts, Zeus? What do you think?
Dude, beautiful rant, because I second everything that you're saying. I actually had here as an asterisk, that could have been my good point, because I think that it's so rare to see it in the scene, right? Especially something so close to home. But what he's done is amazing, because even him, he wasn't on that. But then I heard, I think it was yesterday in the broadcast, he's been there since 2020.
Ages, right? Yeah.
Since 2020, it kind of like gives me that good reminder of like sympathy when I joined Liquid. Like, it's someone that built something there, gained their respect, and he's able to now reap the rewards of all his hard work. And I'm sure to do that, he had to get so much like favor with the players and endure so much, right? So I'm gonna be careful not to overhype, just because I was on this side of the receiving these compliments in those Liquid eras, and I know that players can sometimes like think, oh shit, the coach is like, but we're the ones playing. Guys, if you hear this, value what you fucking have, because like Duncan is saying here, that's fucking gold right now. Like, it should be org first, and if you're aligned with the interest in the sense of the team, you guys will all be doing together. There will be one vision, and it will be neutral. So I'm fucking impressed, and pay the money, pay the man his money. I think that's my biggest request from this. Is like, once you put in and you do the job, get your worth. No.
Yeah.
It's just continuously impressive how GamerLegion is maintaining relevancy even when they lost Shuhei, they lost Ima, I feel like they've had so many people that have slipped through their fingers. And it's not that they're slipping, like it's a business model. Like they're willing, they're in the business of selling players and building them up and everything like that. And at this point, I just hope Ash is getting a cut of that, okay? Because like he's probably one of the reasons that these players are built up in the way that they have, like Flamus, for example. I feel like GamerLegion and Ash right now they're in a position where the firepower, even though this has been such an impressive result, I'm only worried about them because I feel like people have to take them seriously, and they will take them seriously. And when some of the better teams like an Astralis, who, I'm going to be real, like I feel like the player quality on Astralis, even though they lost in the fashion they did, it should be better.
Oh,
I feel like Astralis should be taking them seriously the next time. And so I just hope, I guess, GamerLegion didn't peak too early. Like, I want them to make the major, for example. I want them to kind of have these upset runs regularly so that they can fight at a bigger tournament where everybody's taking them a little bit more seriously, because these flash in the pan moments for them are brilliant right now to celebrate. But like, if it comes crashing down too early or they're peaking too early, then like, if anything, they did the perfect thing last season where it's like they peaked right when they were supposed to for the RMR to make it to the major off of what was actually not looking like a great season for them. And then they made a roster change with like a month and a half to go to the RMR or something like that. And then it actually worked in their favor. I think that was for Tossin actually. And then, because I think they got Tossin for Andu,
yes,
was it?
I think that was so, yes.
Yeah. And so now I think they have a roster that they want to move forward with. And you would think that progress would be linear, but I'll just say, like, if you're against players of higher caliber regularly, that progress that looked linear on paper maybe was actually a little bit because the other teams were thinking that you weren't anybody. But now they're just going to have to respect you. And that's all I'm trying to say. Is just like,
yeah.
I think this is an insanely impressive run already. The wins they got were very impressive. I think it's going to get harder. That's my concern.
Apparently it was Flamus, to be fair. Okay, all good.
Yeah.
Go on, Zeus.
Flamus for Andu, yeah.
I think your point is correct. Like, it's such high praise exactly because we kind of, knowing how the scene works, we imagine that he's overcoming hurdles that others don't, and he's doing more with less. Like, just being direct. If you look at the resources that Zonic has in Falcons and you compare it to this, it's like, who should be getting these results and surprising us and things like that. Yeah. That's why we're happy with it. But I am with Maui because there should, in theory, be a blockade here. And this probably is where they are peaking right now. If I were to make a forms list off my head, it'd be like Spirit, Navi, RS, plus Vitality below them, right? And then you maybe have the Eternal Fire phase guys right now. I think that's probably like a top 5. Everything else I consider kind of on a very different tier. But these guys, if they played like they're playing, they could be the gatekeepers for that. And that's like insane if you consider that there are no top 20 players on that lineup. If we're giving them the credit of playing like a top 6 team that will gatekeep the S tier, which is in theory for only the big bad orgs who actually have the money to put down for that thing. That's hell of impressive. Like, your cost benefit is amazing.
Well, see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.